think it's on. Great. Hi, my name is Margareta Hatting. I'm part of the Makers Cafe team, and today I am happy to be making this informational video for you because we have heard from a lot of the potential partners that we reached out to that they don't understand the credit system, and that's totally on us. We only have walls of text online, and though you can definitely always refer to the text that we have online if you want a really comprehensive overview of how everything works, we totally understand that this is not a good entry point for anyone to the system. And so my hope with this video is that by the end of it, you'll understand the credit system a little better, and also hopefully you'll see that it is really quite intuitive. And it's just, at its core, it's some basic addition and division. So those are I know it sounds mathematical, but it's really just adding stuff up and dividing stuff, and I'm sure you can all do that. Yeah, so without further ado, I decided to explain this in two parts because it's the way I see it. So I'm the person who sort of came up with this credit system. And the way I see it is that it's best explained by separating out these parts. And the first is just like, okay, what are credits? How are they calculated? And then the other part is like, okay, now what is my payment? And you'll see that the credit value is actually not directly linked to your payment. And hopefully you'll also see at the end why that is, and it's basically just that we find it the most fair. So yeah, these are the two aspects I'll talk about. The first is the credit layer, and the second is the payout logic. And I'll try and keep it concise, but still comprehensive. Okay, so let's get started. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see I drew two little bubbles representing two different people. The first person has in their balance, their credit balance, they have 4 credits to spend. And the second person has 8 credits to spend. So you can imagine maybe the person with the 4 credits is someone who just found the platform, they just subscribed, they have their 4 fresh new credits. Whereas the second person, either they bought a Creative Passport and already used 2 of their credits, or because that gives 10 credits, or they are in their second month of their membership and didn't use any credits before because the credits roll over. So you can just read more about that on the pricing page on the website. And the important thing to know is now these are users with preloaded credits ready to go, ready to book something, find a cool experience, learn something, do something creative. Right, and then on the right-hand side, here we have 2 rectangles, almost squares, but I think they're more like rectangles. And they are representing partners. Excuse me, a bit sick, I think. They're representing partners, and each of these partners have a different experience. The first partner has experience A, which is going to be listed for 2 credits on the site, and the second partner has experience B, which is listed for 5 credits on the site. Okay, so that brings us to the first question, which is how were these credit values obtained? And that's very simple. So basically, we use the credit value of 12.25 to standardize all workshop prices. So there's a lot of reasons we're standardizing. You can read a little bit more in the FAQ, the frequently asked questions section, for partners that we will upload soon. Basically, we believe that credits are going to benefit users as well as partners. But anyway, that aside, how are we calculating the credit value? So we're calculating it by just dividing this market price by the credit value of 12.25. So in this case, sorry, and then rounding down. That's the very important step. So in this case, we have 30 is the market price. So it's like the price that you list on your own website or wherever it is that your experiences are offered, divided by 12.25. Now that's going to come close to something like 2.5. The exact number is not really important. The important thing is that we now always round down because we want to give the users a reason to really commit up front. They're committing money up front to buying these credits, and in exchange they get the best prices and they're going to keep coming back and ultimately bring you more revenue. So anyway, that's why we're rounding down. We want to create trust with our users and drive repeat bookings through our platform. And the same for the second experience. I won't go into it here. I won't draw it again. You can imagine 70 divided by 12.25, round down, is 5 credits. Okay, so now the magic happens. People are coming to the website, they're signing up, they have their credits, they find the experience they want to do, and they book it. So we imagine now this is the website where everyone's interacting. They come together. This experience is listed here. This experience is also listed here. And now this person books an experience. They book this one, of course. They book experience A. And this person books experience B. And so why didn't I draw the arrows going directly from this person to this person, or from this person to this person, or rather partner? And it's because the site is aggregating all of the credit values, the credit value that people are spending into one payout pool. And that is going to be the second part that I'm talking about. So let me just come down here to have a bit more space. So all of the money now that people have actually spent on experiences, it's going to be put into one pool. And now hopefully you'll see why I'm separating these things out, because the credit layer is, of course, it's essential to calculating the value of the payout pool, but it's separate from the payout logic. So we use these numbers 30 and 70 because, of course, 30 plus 70 adds up to 100, so it makes it very easy to talk about percentages. And so now, okay, we imagine these are all of the experiences that have been booked on the site in a given month. And we have the payout pool that formed as a result. And so what is the size of this payout pool? It is 3 plus 5 times the credit value, which we just assume in this case is 12.25 for simplicity, though of course in reality some credits might be worth a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And what that number is, let me quickly refer to my notes, is 85.75. So that is the size of this pool. Oops, 85.75 is the size of this pool, 85.75 euros, because that's the amount of, it is the monetary value of the credits that have been used to book experiences. And so how are you as a partner going to be compensated? Well, it's going to be according to the market value of your offering. It's not according to the credit value. And I decided that because I didn't find it fair that some partners would earn more relative to their market value simply because they might be exactly on the credit band, or maybe just, 6.1 credits instead of 6.7 credits. And if it's always rounding down, it's not really fair, in my view, for some partners to be paid out relatively more. So for someone who had a market value of maybe 60, like now the exact numbers would escape me, but like say 68 divided by 12.25 rounded down would still be 5 credits, and so is 70 divided by 12.25 is also 5 credits. So it's not really fair if these people are paid out now the same 5 credit value if they have different market prices, in my view. So instead, how we do it is according to market price directly. And so the person who had the 30 euro experience would get 30% of this payout pool, and the person who had the 70 euro experience would get 70% of this payout pool. So the way you calculate your percentage is you just take the booked value, the booked market value of your experiences, maybe you had multiple experiences booked, divided by the total market value of all experiences. And so we will also publish, it will preserve an anonymity, but it will also make it transparent enough, we think, so that everyone can see how it is a fair system. We'll publish with every payout cycle the total payout pool, and then also your percentage of it will be very clear from your book market value. So why 30%? Why is this 30% and why is that 70%? Well, if you go back up, this is 30% because the experience, the market value of the experience is 30 euros. And that's 70% because the market value of the experience is 70 euros. And 30 plus 70 is 100. I mean, say, look, it would of course be different if the experience prices are different. So say this was, let's say this was 80 and this was 100, then this number at the bottom would be 180. It wouldn't be 100, but we're just using these numbers because you can directly see the percentage just from looking at the numbers. And so why does this person get paid out 30%? It's because their booked value is 30 over 30 plus 70%, so that's 30%. And the other person gets paid out 70% because their booked value is 70 over 30 plus 70, so 70%. But say now with the other numbers, say we had this, what did I say before, 80, then the percentage would be 80 over 80 plus, we said imagine 100. Yeah, and so that would then be 80 over 180%. I'm not going to try and do math now, it's close to 50%. Yeah, so that would be then the size of your payout. So it's always the booked value over the total market value multiplied by how big the whole payout pool is, so that it's fair to everyone. Everyone gets paid out proportional to their market price. They don't get paid out this, and they don't get paid out the credits directly. They don't get paid out 2 credits for a 30 euro course or 5 credits for a 70 euro course. They don't get paid out the credit value. No, they get paid out according to this market value. So we aggregate all of the credits that were, the value of all of the credits that were booked in a particular period, which will be a month. Usually we envision that the payout cycle will be every month. We aggregate all of the value of the credits and then we divide it according to your market prices. Okay, so hopefully this makes things a little bit clearer. Of course, feel free to reach out. The email is office@themakerscafe.com. I'm always happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much for listening.